This is Big Blue Nation. This is the Wildcat Zone. Operator. Feel the fever. Can you feel it? Welcome to the Wildcat Zone. Can you feel it? Operator. Big Blue Nation. This is the Wildcat Zone. Can you feel it? Can't believe it. Welcome to the Wildcat Zone. Big Blue Nation. This is the Wildcat Zone. Big Blue Nation. Welcome to the Wildcat Zone. Roar!
What's up, Big Blue Nation? And welcome to the Wildcat Zone. I'm your host, Daniel Bentley. And on today's episode, this is episode 5, I'm going to go over the Missouri game we had on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and go over the Mississippi State game from Saturday. So just a game recap. I'm going to go over my MVPs for both games and what we're going to be looking forward to this upcoming week when we play LSU and we travel to Tennessee to play. So starting off, first game against Missouri. I mean, it was a typical neck and neck game. We went down there and beat them last year as a whole completely different team, different aspect of a team. This game was neck and neck all the way till the end. We've seen some good things. Everybody was starting to share the ball. Spurts of things that we would see later on in the week on Saturday, but still a lot of selfish play from a lot of our guys. Unfortunately, we blew an 8-point lead in the final 2 minutes and lost the game to Missouri. First time they've ever won in Rupp Arena. Of course, they've not been in the SEC for that long, but it's definitely something that stinks, right? We're setting records and not the kind of records that we want to set. So, just self-inflicted turnovers in the last 2 minutes. I mean, nobody communicating. Brandon Garrison turning over the ball twice. You got an OA that has a layup. I mean, he was 2 defenders on him. He shouldn't have laid it up. He should just slam that ball and got the foul calls. But we can't take it back now. There's a lot of effort to get the ball back there in the last 30 seconds to potentially tie the game up. But Jalen Lowe did not pass the ball off like he was probably intended to. You had Cam Williams and Aberdeen both wide open. Or not really wide open, but they had the defenders on them. It looked like that one was going to slide over to defend whichever one got the ball. But instead, Jalen Lowe took that off-balance 3, cost us the game. For that game, I didn't really have an MVP. OA was kind of the only one that was in double figures, and he was the only one that really kind of done anything. Everybody else wasn't really playing to their potential. I mean, there was a lot of selfish ball play, you could tell. And I think it's really what cost us the game against Missouri. So, moving on to our Saturday game um, against Mississippi State, an old foe that we have in the SEC. Going into this game, I didn't really not have any expectations, to be honest, considering how we blew it against Missouri. Because I mean, you're up 8 with 2 minutes to go. You win that game. Like any other team would win that game. I don't care who you are. You don't blow an 8 point lead like that. Um, but didn't really have expectations going into this game. Mississippi State had just won by more than 20 against Oklahoma in their game during the week. So it wasn't really looking positive for it, even though we were favored to win because we're playing at Rupp. I didn't have any type of expectations, to say the least. So we get the first 3 minutes in. Jalen Lowe goes to swap at the ball, gets hurt, pops his shoulder back out. We know this is probably going to be a typical thing that we see with him. And whether he decides to sit out the rest of the year in red shirt, I don't know. That's up to him. But I think we will see that a lot this year if he does continue to play. Because with shoulder injuries, I've had a shoulder injury. You don't really know when that's going to pop up. I mean, because it hurts. It doesn't matter how long you doctor it until you have surgeries when you fix it. I mean, that is what it is, right? And we're going to continue to see that if he does continue to play. He's going to end up having to go out. But also on this game, we had Jaden Quayton's out for knee swelling. A lot of people online, you could see, were unhappy about that because at first it wasn't really released to why he was sitting out. People were saying trying to protect his dad's trying to protect his draft stock. His pride was hurt. Whatever. If you notice in the Missouri game, he only played the first half. Right? He didn't come back in the second half. Would it have changed the difference? I doubt it, because he only scored 1 point in the Missouri game. Missouri lost. But he was out, and then Jalen Lowe went out within the first 3 minutes of the game, and you could tell as soon as he went to the locker room that team's demeanor changed. Mississippi State was getting anything they wanted in the paint. Anything they wanted. Guys were just standing around watching the ball, watching it go, watching the defender, or not watching the defender, but watching the guy dribbling the ball, just lay it up in there. And then you had Mississippi State go on a run. I think it was like a 10-2 or 10-3 run. And finally, they go up by 10 on us at 6-16 or 16-6. And Mark Pope calls a timeout, and the boos start raining down in Rupp Arena. I have never seen that happen in all my years of watching college basketball. A Kentucky team getting booed by their own fans in their own arena. We've seen it happen in the Gonzaga game, right? At halftime, them guys got booed all the way to the locker room because they were not playing well. They weren't playing to the potential that we had been hearing all summer. So the boos come raining down. Mark Pope calls a timeout. After that timeout, that team, you could tell something changed. Attitude changed. The demeanor of everybody changed. They wanted to win that game, and you could tell. It didn't matter what it took. They were going to walk out of that arena with a win. It gives the fans something to freaking cheer about because they haven't done that this year. Do I think it's okay that you boo your own team on their own home court? No, that shouldn't happen to anybody. I don't care who it is. Fans should not boo their own team. But the flip side of that, because I'm split on this. They don't deserve to be booed. You should never boo your team. But honestly, if they go, we've went all season so far of them being so lackluster of talent, them not playing well. These guys have brought this on themselves. When you come to Kentucky, you come into high expectations, like championships every year. That's the expectation. And the people that sign up for that need to know that. And I'm sure they do. That's part of what they sign up for, right? But I think that they've earned the booze that they've gotten, in my opinion. I mean, I'm nobody, but some of the stuff that I've seen, the guys just standing around watching somebody fly by me and them get a dunk, or nobody communicating on defense, and they get an open lob in the paint. I mean, come on. What are we paying these guys for? What are these guys getting these NIL deals for? If they're just going to stand there and watch the opposing team just play basketball, right? So I think they earned the booze that they got. Do I think it was right? No. Did I think it opened their eyes? Well, you could say that because they went on a tear after this. All right. So enough on that caveat. I think they've earned the booze that they've gotten this year, but I think that they've turned a corner and they found the groove and found the way that they need to play. Whether that's with Jalen Lowe and Jayden Quaintons out, or if one of them's out or both of them's out, it doesn't matter. The ball that they played against this Mississippi State team is how they need to play every game. This is a team that we've wanted to see, right? Where has this team been for the past first half of the first quarter, first half of the year? Um, they've been non-existent. So they earned the booze that they got. I mean, they did turn it around. They come out with a different attitude. I mean, the rest of the first half, Mississippi State was keeping it within three. I mean, we didn't really start pulling away till the second half, which is fine. I mean, everybody's going to give us their best shot. It doesn't matter. Everybody wants to beat Kentucky, whether they're playing at Rupp or whether they're playing on their own home court. Everybody wants to beat Kentucky. We're the gold standard of college basketball. Um, it's like everybody wants to beat who, like when Tom Brady played in the NFL. Everybody wanted to beat the team that he was on, right? Um, so really in the first half, Mississippi State's keeping it close. Second half, we drove away on them. I mean, you had Aberdeen draining threes. You had Owe doing his thing, running in the paint. He even got some good open look threes that he made. He's not been shooting the three good this season. I mean, that's something that he was told to work on. But when he's open, he's likely going to drain them. I mean, it's what's going to happen. He has that hitch in his shot, but he was playing good. He was shooting from everywhere and making it. Owe was doing Owe things like we've needed him to do all year in this second half of the game. He was stealing, cutting off pass, stealing balls, getting dunks. I mean, he was playing like the SEC Player of the Year that they have predicted him to be, and the highest scoring player in the SEC as of right now. And you had Cam Williams scoring it in both ways. I mean, he was knocking down threes, and he was getting shots in the paint. These guys were passing the ball. Nobody was really, other than Aberdeen, nobody was playing selfish ball where they dribble around and they throw some floater up in the air that might make it in, might not. These guys were looking around and actually moving with the play. when we don't have movement, we're not scoring unless it's something that's a lucky shot. And I've seen that all year. If we don't move, if we don't flow with the offense, we're probably empty possession for us. All right. But that's not what happened in the second half. They were passing the ball, knocking down shots like the team that we've been hearing about, the team that played Purdue. That was the team that played in the second half. I mean, you remember we played Purdue, we didn't have Jalen Lowe. And we didn't have Jaden Quaintance. And we dog walked them. Now, granted, it was an exhibition match. It doesn't count. Only thing it counts on is pride. But that is how they played against Purdue. Passing the ball around and people playing in the roles that they need to play. All right. And my MVP for this game is Malachi Moreno. This kid was having a game. I mean, a game for himself. You had 4 cats in double figures. I mean, Moreno was just doing everything that we've needed him to do, right? He was that force down low that we've needed. He was getting rebounds on the weak side, blocking shots, making shots, helping guys communicate with each other. You know, that in the second half, we were really locked down defensively. And Mississippi State didn't know what to do. And they didn't know what to do. And it was clear they were lost. That little Hubbard kid wasn't shooting the lights out like he did against us last year and the year before last. So we've done something right defensively. Marino is my MVP for this game. He played his heart out. It was almost like, and you could tell coming off the bench, whenever they got booed, he looked pretty mad. I mean, why wouldn't you be, right? You're on your own home court, and you're getting booed out your own building because nobody's playing like they need to be. I think they took it personally, and I think they gave Big Blue Nation something to cheer about. I mean, and I think that they realized that, you know. Do I think they found their groove? Likely. I mean, I think they found what they need to, how they need to play. It was lockdown defense and just setting people up for shots, setting each other up for shots. That's how we're going to win games. And they need to really work on their first 5 minutes of the game, not getting so far behind. Because as you've seen with Alabama and Gonzaga and Michigan State and Louisville and in North Carolina, you get behind real big early, it's hard to come back, especially if you're not hitting shots. And they just need to really work on that. What they also need to work on is this pick and roll stuff that Mississippi State was running on us. They were getting all kinds of lobs and alley oops. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing there in the first half. You had a guy wide open getting a dunk. That's not how we defend. It's not at all how we defend. Yeah, they need to work on the screens around the arc, around the perimeter, but they need to protect the paint. Because I mean, you're not going to have teams like Alabama that shoot the lights out from behind the arc. You're going to have teams that score in the paint, and we can't just let everybody get what they want. I have to expect to win every game, and I think that going forward, if they play like this, having this attitude, they play like they had a chip on their shoulder when they come out of that timeout. And I'm sure they did. Because I'm sure it's embarrassing for Coach Pope. I mean, this is his alma mater. And you got your team coming out and playing like they do. And I know they're trying in every way that they can. because we don't know what goes on in the locker rooms. And I mean, I watched the little BBN fan his channel or his show that he had Cam Williams' dad on. Cam Williams' dad, if you haven't watched that video, you need to go watch that because it's kind of our way of peering into behind the scenes without actually being behind the scenes. I mean, he obviously doesn't know everything that goes on because he's a parent of a player, but he's got a pretty good idea of like these guys they hate losing, they hate going out and performing like crap, like anybody would be, and of course we don't see that because we're not in that locker room. Now, when it comes to that, they should feel. I mean, it sucks to lose, right? We feel it because we're fans. We don't want our team to lose, and every time we lose, you got other fan bases just rubbing it in, rage baiting like they do. I mean, everybody likes seeing us lose, but what I don't agree with when it comes to them feeling bad about losing is going and posting on their Instagram stories of their highlights, like we had a couple players doing after losing to Missouri. I think that is unacceptable. It did get taken down, so I applaud the PR team of UK Athletics or whoever told them to take it down. I mean, I applaud them for that because it's unacceptable. You don't celebrate your highlights in a game that you lost. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. In a game that you should have won, but you didn't. But going back to that, Cam Williams' father, I mean, these guys have finally gotten somewhat healthy, and they're having to learn how to play with each other again. Because I mean, we had a stretch where we had Quaintance and Lowe out, right? We had that from when we played Purdue all the way to the Louisville game. We had Lowe out. We didn't have a starting point guard. The only thing we had was Aberdeen and Chandler. Um, but they're having to learn how to play together, and I think they figured it out. I mean, I really do, based on what happened in the second half. I think they have figured out the groove that they need to play with. It was when they're hitting shots, they are hitting shots. They're getting anything and everything that they wanted. Now, that's not to discredit Mississippi State's defense, because it is Mississippi State. They're not ranked. They've not really played anybody. I think their best win was against Oklahoma, but it was at home. The other best win, it was either Nebraska or Wisconsin. It was some other team. It was not a nobody team. Somebody that I don't consider a blue blood in college basketball. Um, so, and we've been embarrassed in our non-conference games that we played, other than Indiana and St. John's. We've been embarrassed. The North Carolina game is really embarrassing because we had that game won. Again, we had that game won, and they blew it. Not scoring for 10 minutes and turning over the ball. Right? But we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. They're learning to play with each other, and I know they're dying to win. They want to win a national championship. They want to make this fan base proud, right? And there's two sides of it. We don't know what goes on, but we do know they get paid, right? And that's a lot of things that I have been seeing. Is we pay 22 million, supposedly 22 million, air quotes, for this roster, for them to get behind really big and then try to fight their way back. And we'd heard all summer about how Mark Pope has a Ferrari of a team and he can't wait to let them loose. And we've just not seen it. I mean, we've seen how great they can be and coming back and beating Indiana and coming back and beating St. John's and even coming back and beating Mississippi State. You've seen the groove that they played with. They got to get in their pace. And you've noticed they went too fast with Missouri. They went too fast. And I think that's part of the reason why it cost us those turnovers. Guys over anticipating and not communicating. But last night in that second half, they were communicating and hitting shots like they were supposed to. We seen what they'd been practicing. And it's sad that it took them getting booed on their own floor for them to finally realize, hey, maybe we got to do something. There's got to be a change, whether that's with the players, whether that's with the coaching staff. Somebody seen something and was like, hey, we got to catch this early because if we don't, it's going to be bad. And if they'd have lost this game to Mississippi State, man, I don't know. I think the sky would have started falling in Big Blue Nation. I mean, let's be honest. The sky would have been falling. Because I think if we would have lost that, it would have been the first time since like the 70s we started 0-3 in the SEC. And it's bad enough that we started 0-2, but going forward, we got a pretty rough slate. Not really rough, but we got a good couple games that we have. I believe it's Tuesday or Wednesday. We go down to Baton Rouge and play the LSU Tigers. That is always a tough game for us. Doesn't matter if either team is really bad or one team's really good, the other one's not. Again, it's another one of those Super Bowl moments. LSU always wants to beat us. It's always a close game. And going on later in the week, this upcoming week, we got to travel down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and take on one of our oldest foes in the SEC, the Tennessee Volunteers. That is a game that is always hard to win. It's always hard to win. Knoxville is a rowdy crowd. I've been to that game many times. Blue does get in. You will see blue around the upper arena and in splotches around in the lower arena. But it's always going to be a hard game. I look forward to it. So it'll be a tough game. If we play like we did in that second half, I think we'll beat both these teams. But if we get behind early, both these teams can easily beat us. I don't know how they're going to start, but we just got to figure out how we cannot get behind early. I mean, it's going to start with Coach Pup calling timeouts when teams go on runs early. Cal used to do it. Patino used to do it. Tubby Smith used to do it. Like, you don't let a team go on a 15-2 run and you don't call a timeout. Can't get behind that early. It's hard to come back, especially if you're not hitting shots. But that's pretty much all I got today. Hope y'all have enjoyed this time that we have spent together. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wildcat Zone. I am also on Facebook and Spotify under the same name, Wildcat Zone, WILDCAT space ZONE, Wildcat Zone. Looking to grow this channel. I'm enjoying doing this, giving my review on the games. Hope you guys are too. So please like and subscribe. But I will leave you with this. Crack you open a cold L8. They're refreshing. And Godspeed and go Cats.